Hi and welcome. I'm John and this is Unique Wargaming Terrain. Guys, welcome back. For everyone that's new, this is a Let's Build video. What are Let's Build videos and what are they all about? Well, Let's Build video, I take a model kit and I'll show you how to put it together. If there's any areas of concern on the sprue, like things are numbered differently from the instructions to the sprue, I'll let you guys know. If there's any points of concern in terms of chains or pipes or anything that you have to be careful with when snipping them off or cleaning them down, I'll let you guys know. If there's something on the model piece you're taking off that needs to stay, but when you're looking at it on the sprue, it looks like it shouldn't be there, but it should be. It just helps you guys out and tell you that should be there. If you're interested in models for an army you have or an army you want to collect, it's a visual aid to help you. If you suffer with dyslexia or just struggle with instructions in general, again, this is just a visual aid to help you guys out. So for all my regulars here, guys, I feel the love. Thank you very much. I'll see you in a minute. Right, so today, you would have seen from the thumbnail, I'm going to build Canoptek Wraiths. Now there's a little bit of a boo-boo here because there's 3 Canoptek Wraiths in the unit, but this is from the Imperium magazine, by the way, but I've only got 2 Imperium magazines with how to build Wraiths on them. So I'm hoping each issue should have 1 Wraith in it. So I'm hoping once I build one, it's going to be pretty straightforward to build the other ones. And if that's the case, then I won't need to show you the rest. I'll just show you the one. But let's go through tools needed as usual. Let me swap this one out. There's the sprue for it. Right, tools needed as usual. Mold line scraper. Now you can use a hobby knife or a surgical blade type thing. If you're using a sharp tool, just be careful because it is sharp. Let everyone know you're using it so nobody scares you by accident. If you have cats, make sure they can't get to you because they'll jump up on the table and scare the life out of you. You don't want a sharp tool in your hand when that happens. Or little hands from kids. Clippers, most useful part of our kit. Now I have sanding sponge, as always. Now, sanding sponge is basically sponge with sandpaper either side. Okay. Now you can get sanding sponge or sanding block. The difference is sanding block is not as flexible as this. It's very rigid, and this is useful for getting into little nooks and crannies. Even after you built the model, if you find mold line that you've forgotten or missed, this is great for coming in and cleaning up. You can get it in a hardware shop. Somewhere between the sandpaper and the wallpaper is usually in between that, but sometimes it can be with either. And it's a plastic kit, so plastic glue. I do have super glue at hand just in case. I hopefully won't need it. One thing I find with these Necron kits, you don't really need to use super glue. Actually, with a lot of the kits since the 9th edition, you don't need to use super glue. Right, so for everyone that's new, what we do now, after I make space on my overcrowded desk, is we look at the sprue and we ascertain what's what to try and make our life easier. Because you look at this and go, what the hell is all this? But if we start breaking it down, it can, make things a lot simpler for ourselves. So this looks like body. Okay, these look like bodies. That looks like his tail. That looks like another part of his tail. A lot of this looks like arm pieces or weapons to go onto, and these talon things to go onto. Apart from that, I'm not too sure because it's a new kit for myself as well. So I'm going to finish off getting set up here. So I think I've got the camera way too close. But I'm going to finish getting set up and I'm going to come back to you then for the first pieces. Right, I've looked at the instructions and this is a monster build. And there's 3 of them. But there's a little bit of good news. I had a look at a few numbers and they're exactly the same. The sprues are identical. There are a few different options you can do when, further into the build, which, makes them all different. But everything is identical. So all I need to do is show you one, really, because the others are the same, which is handy for me, which is, nice and easy and handy for me. So the first numbers we need are number 24 and 25, which are these two crazy pieces here, 24 and 25. I'm going to snip them, clean them, I'll show you how they go together. Right, so these two pieces, I was going to glue them, but I'll show you this first. You can see there's holes, and there's pins, that just slots into there like so. Nice and easy. Okay. Now when you're putting glue in, don't glue the one with the pins in it, because if you've got fiddle around here, fiddle around there, they start to melt. So put the one with the holes in, put the glue all around there where the holes are and along the outer edge. You're going to see how it snips in. I'm going to glue that into place and then come back to the next two pieces. That's the next two we need, number 27 and number 26. Okay, so we've just taken those two, so we need 26 and 27. They basically look the same as these guys, yeah, just a little bit smaller. Okay, so I'm going to snip those, clean those, they go together exactly the same way. So again, I don't need to show you that, I'm going to glue them together. Right, so we won't be looking at the camera. Next two pieces you need are number 20, which is this amazing piece, and number 21. So we've just taken this piece and this piece. So now we need 20 and 21. I'm going to snip and clean them, I'll show you how they go together. Right, so this is number 20, this is 21. You see there's how the camera focuses. Come on. Damn it. A little mess up on myself. Okay, so basically there's a little square, so a little weird shape there. 21 has the thing at the bottom there, so that just slots in there. There's only one way for it to slot in. Gives you that lovely little curved effect. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to just drop a little bit of glue along that join line, just to see there's one piece of plastic. Now here's where the fun starts, because we have the smaller one of the piece, which is this one. Has the two pins and the other pin. They slot into there. Okay, with this circle bit coming through here. Imagine that's where the tail's going to go. And then this one does the same thing, the opposite way. So there's two big pins, two small pins, two big holes, big hole, small hole. Yeah. So that's going to go in like so, and this one's going to go in like so. Okay, it is that way, isn't it? Yeah. So I'm going to glue them into place, because it's already got a nice little body, looking body. I'm going to glue them into place and then come back for the next piece. So I actually messed up there, but I haven't messed up. I've messed up in the sense that I said to you, oh, these are the wrong numbers and everything else for this, yeah? This not. The instructions to build this one are different to the actual, this part. This part is all the same on every single one of them, and every part that follows on this part is the same on all of them. This is the only bit that's different. Okay, there are other options for like weapons and heads and stuff, but this is the only part that's different. So this is the only part that being numbered differently, but they connect the same way. The only thing that's different is the flat pieces where they connect to the base are in different places to give you a different tail coil. Okay, so apart from that, it is, you know, it's right, but this is 100%. Okay, all of them are the same, and even up to this point and even after this point, it's all the same. It's just this thing that's different. So the numbers on the sprue that I was looking at versus the instructions were wrong, but it's correct. Okay, because I'm looking at the wrong, because I have the sprue that I'm working from, and I have another one loose like this, no magazine. So I just presumed that one was one and started working on it, and it's, you know, I picked up the wrong sprue, because the other sprue here, those two bits that are just the coil there, the tail coil, is 28 and 29, which I was looking for. So that's why I messed up. But the rest of it is all identical. All of the parts are the same, all the numbers are the same. So there's no panic there. So I'm going to fish out a 50mm base, and I'm going to come back to you for the next part. Right, so I've put some glue on top there. You'll see there's a little square bit there. Okay. Now when you see this bad boy, there's a little square bit. So that just slots in there like so. So you see all the panels line up. Have to hold this into place a bit. So it's a bit top heavy. See that little bit there that I missed. Bloody hell. Yeah, it just goes in there. If I leave it to dry, well, I say leave it to dry, leave it to dry enough before you start putting glue onto these flat pieces, and then that glues to the 50mm base. So I'm going to leave it to dry for a bit. I'm going to come back then. I'm going to glue it to the base when it's sturdy enough to hold it, and then I'll come back for the next pieces. Actually, no. I might just glue the other pieces in next. Leave that to dry for 10 minutes, so glue the rest of them together, then glue him to the base afterwards, I think. Right, so the next part is these little pieces, 9, 10, 11. There's two sets, 9, 10, 11, and this set here. Okay, now you have to put them in separate, like singly, one at a time, just because they're very similar, and you can get them in the wrong place. So I'm going to start with number 9, which is the small one there. I'm going to clip it off, clean it, and I'll show you how it goes on. I'm only going to show you one side because the other side is exactly the same. So number 9 goes on one side, number 9 goes exactly the same space the other side. Okay. Right. So we have this little joint bit. The other side, it's like that. So essentially, that piece that stick out. There's the bigger ball bit that sticks out. So you take this piece, it goes in that bottom slot there. That's all around. Yeah, that is. It goes in there like so. So it basically has like a little power node thing sticking out from him. That's the first one. Now that's number 9. Number 9 is going to go exactly the same again on the other side. Okay. So the next one is number 10. I'm going to snip it, clean it, and I'll show you how it goes on. Right, so same thing again. I've put some glue in that middle slot there, and that goes in. Like so. Okay. And then the last one we need is number 11. Okay. And that one goes in exactly the same thing again, but in this slot here. Okay, so I'm going to snip it, clean it. You'll see and glue it in, but you'll see the slot next to it has a little pinhole, and it doesn't. Yeah. The pinhole is for the claws to come into. Right, at this point it's telling me to glue it to the base. I don't think gluing it to the base is going to be any benefit to me. Trying to pick it up and put the arms in and head on and everything else, I think it's going to be more of a nuisance to it coming off the base. So as you see, I've got it propped up against some paint, and I'm going to glue it to the base last thing. Okay, now if you have the time, you know, and you're doing a little bit here every night, then you could probably glue it to the base, so then it's ready for the next day to glue the arms in and stuff. Anyway, on to the next piece is number 34, which is this piece here. I'm going to snip it, clean it, and then I'll show you the piece that goes with it. Right, so the next piece is telling me is number 37, which is his head, his face. But he has 4 different, because there's another one there as well. 4 different heads. I'm actually going to go with this one here, because I like this one. So I'm going to snip it off, I'm going to clean it down, and I'll show you how it goes on. Right, so I've just some glue into it, but there's a little hole, a little divot in the middle. This number 34 has a little divot as well, a little pin that just slides straight into there like so. Okay, so what we're going to do now is this then glues in the front there, like so. So I'm going to glue that into place, and then I come back to them for the next piece. And so the next pieces we need are 6, 7 and 8. Okay, 8 being the smallest, and it's the same on the other side of the sprue. 6, 7 and 8. Now, like the power node things that went in, the sensor things, I think they're called, that go in, they're not called sensor things, but the little sensors that go on the side of them, these have to be done individually. Okay, so you snip one off, clean it down, glue it into place, and then go on next one, next one, next one. Just because it is easy to lose track of what's, what goes where. So the one we're going to start with is number 8. Now these are very unique because they have a little pin at the bottom of them. Okay, each of them have the little pin. Yes, and that's because the hole where it goes into, the way it goes into has a little hole for it to go into. So I'm going to snip number 8 off, clean it down, I'll show you how it goes on. Right, so I put a bit of glue in that hole there. There's the pin. Now if you ever struggle getting this in the hole, you just snip the pin off and just glue the ball joint straight into there, but it should be straightforward. There we go, there's the first one in. So the next one we need is number 7, which again, that's just number 8, so number 7 is there. So I'm going to snip it, clean it, show you how it goes in. Again, the next hole along, I put some glue into it. And it's the same thing again. Pin just goes in. I wouldn't be able to get one of these in. There we go. So the last one that's needed, as you guessed it, is number 6, and that goes in the last hole at the front here. That only leaves 2 holes at the front of the model, but we'll get into them in a second. And then the same thing again on the other side. So 8 goes in first, then 7, then 6. So I'm going to snip number 6 off, clean it down, glue it in, and do the same on the other side. Right, in my opinion, not gluing them to the base when they told me to, and doing these claws with the model upside down is totally a game changer. It's actually fantastic. I found it easier to do this side upside down than was that side holding my hand and showing you how it goes on. But it's up to you what you prefer doing it. The next thing we need is number 1, okay, which is this one here. It's a weird looking piece, but obviously there's 2 of them because there's one for each side. So I'm going to snip it, clean it, and I'll show you how it goes. I'll snip it, clean it, clip it, clean it, and then I'll show you the next 2 pieces that go with it, which is actually number 3 and 4, which are these pieces. So actually I'll clip all 3 pieces, clean them all down, and I'll show you how they go together. Now this is one of those annoying things now. Okay, so we have this outer piece. This is number 4. Okay, what we want to do is chuck a bit of glue in that piece there. We take this piece and that funny little rectangular shape just sits in there. It's supposed to sit in there, like so. Okay, and then the other piece, the glue goes in exactly the same place and it goes over the top. So I'm going to glue that into place and then come back to you for the next piece. Right, so I've gone ahead and done both of them. Okay, the next piece we need is number 2. Now obviously there are 2 of them because there's two of the talons, and they too have a little pin, because as you guess, the holes they're going to have a little pin for them to go into. This little square on the top there, that needs to stay on the piece. Okay, so I'm going to snip both of those off, clean those both down, and I'm going to show you how one goes in and the other one goes in exactly the same. But this is one of those pieces where they're saying don't use glue, put it in and then pivot it to where you want, then glue it in. So basically, this little piece should go, look, see, yeah, the wire needs to be cut this side. So it basically goes in there like so. There we go. But you can pivot it whichever way you want. Okay. Now I'm not going to bother pivoting it or anything like any of that silliness. I'm just going to whack some glue into it. Because with the plastic glue, you still have a bit of playtime before it starts to set properly. So now I'm going to put that back in, and then maybe move a little bit. Now these pieces go in the front ones there. Okay, there's 2 holes. One goes either side. So I'm going to glue that into place, put the other one together and glue it into place, and then I'm going to glue them to his base, and then I'm going to come back to you then for additional parts you could do and final thoughts. Right, so gluing him to the base was the hardest part actually. As you can see, I've got a paint pot propping him up till the glue takes. Now, additional parts that you could do instead. Obviously, I've shown you the 3 heads. He has 4 heads in total, but I've showed you those. Let's go and have a look. It's 1, 2, 3. They all go on the same way as the one that went on. This is the particle caster, is the other weapon he can have. And this, again, the same way that the gun underneath him goes on, this goes in the same way. There's a little cross section at the top there that slots in. Now these bad boys, these are whip coils. Okay, there's 2 of them. Now they look very flimsy and weak, and I don't really like the look of them. I think on the table and the storing them and everything else is going to be a pain in the ass, but they do look cool. But these go on the same way on the front here as that middle blade went on. So you'd glue that in to one side and then glue the other side on, and then it goes in exactly the same. Number 2 goes in to pin it and it goes into him. So that's that done. Now there is 3 models in the unit, as you see how easy they are to put together. Now apart from me getting the coil number wrong, because I'm just looking at the wrong instructions for the wrong one, the rest of the model is the same. It's just the coil that's different. Okay, I say the coil, I'm talking about his tail that sits into the base, so it gives you a different pose for each one. But the rest of the models is exactly the same. Obviously, you want to change the gun, that's fine. It's it's just showing you, it's very simple. Head swap, just totally different. So totally same, fantastic. Difficulty rating for this model, which is I'm actually surprised with how easy this model is to build. Considering when I looked at the sprue, I was like, what the hell is all this? Putting it together is very simple. I'd probably give it a 3 because it is so simple. The hardest part for me was gluing them to the base. That's the hardest part. The rest of it is simple as anything. Now it does help with plastic glue because you do have a little bit of playtime before it starts to really set. But say gluing them to the base was the hardest part for me. Now don't get wrong, there is some mould lines that I've noticed on this, especially on the tail, which if you I say this all the time, guys, if you glue a model together and go, oh, I missed a mould line there, or there's a bit of sprue there, wait until all the plastic glue is finished and dried. If you finish building the model, wait for it to dry. If there's a bit of sprue you've missed, come with your clippers and trim it up. Your sanding sponge to get into those little bits that that could be fiddly to get to with the mould line scraper. I always do that before I undercut the model. Okay, so before I even gravel the model, in fact, I should give it a once over and then give it a sand down if I need to, and it'll clean up. But 95, 96% of the time, I get it all in the first go. So, I'm not perfect. There are sometimes I miss bits and pieces, and I know there's some on this coil. I keep calling it a coil. It's not coil. It's his tail. I missed a bit on the front there, which again, sand sponge will sort out for me. So guys, if you're seeing this channel for the first time, hit the subscribe button because it costs you absolutely nothing. Turn your notifications on so you don't miss anything. Any comments or suggestions or thoughts about this model, this sculpt, chuck them below as always, guys. Everyone smash the thumbs up button so it triggers YouTube to share this video with more and more people and makes this community of you amazing viewers grow even more. There is 2 more for me to build, but I'll build them off camera because they're exactly the same. So no point me showing the same thing again and again and again. Guys, thank you for watching. Until next time, take it easy. I'm not going to bring you down and show you some pretty, but I will take some pretty pictures, but I won't be able to move this too much because I don't want him falling forward. Because it is very forward heavy, but once that glue's dry on the base, it'll be fine. Anyways, until next time, take it easy.